Joseph B. Callaway versus City of Macon, Georgia. This is a call for justice. The Macon Police Department is sick and in need of a doctor. Judge Robert E. Herndon is in the right place at the right time with the right case to make the right decision to bring a halt to some of the mess that is going on in the Macon Police Department. This hearing is to defend stacked charges against Officer Joseph B. Callaway. He was charged with truthfulness, insubordination, violation of rules, unbecoming conduct, criticism of supervisor, and unsatisfactory performance. Recommendations on stacked charges against Officer Joseph B. Callaway were as follows. Truthfulness, recommended 5-day suspension pending termination. Insubordination, recommended 5-day suspension pending termination. Violation of rules, 5-day suspension pending termination. Unbecoming conduct, 5-day suspension pending termination. Criticism of supervisor, 5-day suspension pending termination. And unsatisfactory performance, a recommended 5-day suspension pending termination. It was very obvious that they were out to take this officer out by any means necessary. Officer Joseph B. Callaway is not guilty of any and all of the charges against him. Officer Callaway had no intentions of harming anyone, nor did he cause harm to anyone when he contacted Lieutenant Brazee. He made the mistake of engaging in a rumor while trying to alert Lieutenant Tracy Brazee. Officer Callaway's mistake deserved no-nonsense counseling, commonly known as a good old-fashioned butt-chewing, to correct the situation. Moreover, this incident could have been and still should be used as a catalyst for badly needed diversity dialogue and training, not overkill charges to destroy the officer's livelihood and or law enforcement career. Stacking charges is a way of eliminating any police officer in any department anywhere. Coupled with discriminatory patterns, bad practices, and unfair policies, the affected police officers do not stand a chance. Justice is all but impossible. Macon Police Department administrators have established patterns and practices of meting out harsher discipline to black and female police officers than white males for the same or similar violations. Here are some examples. Rules of conduct. On an unknown date, an officer, Scott Chapman, white male, stole 2 walkie-talkies from a house on Holt Street, made no report, and did not turn the property in. The charges against him: processing property and evidence. Discipline, written reprimand. Another example, rules of conduct. On an officer, Matthew Wood. Officer Wood went on MySpace on the World Wide Web in uniform, declaring, "My goal is to get out of here and move up to Atlanta and chase some niggers down, bust some drugs, and you know, all that good stuff." Charges against this officer: abuse of position. And the second charge, courtesy, sexual harassment, and discrimination. Discipline, 1-day suspension, reduced to a written reprimand, and a 10-day suspension, reduced to a 5-day suspension. Another comparison, an officer, Josh Sanderson. He arrested 17 people in December and January and never filled out a Stat 5 which documents the events that took place leading up to the arrest. Charges, department reports. Discipline, a 3-day suspension reduced to 1 day. Another example, Officer Josh Sanderson again used OC spray on a prisoner who was handcuffed. The charge, departmental reports. Discipline, 3-day suspension reduced to 1 day. Another rules of conduct violation on an officer, Amanda Vaughn. Now we're getting into how women are treated on the department. She struck a defendant, Joseph Sims, in the head with a fist while he was handcuffed and he was lying on the ground. Charges against this female officer, use of force. Discipline, she was terminated. Rules of conduct on our officer, James McDonald, white male. He grabbed a defendant, James Mims, by the neck or front of the shirt and lifted him from the chair. Mims was allegedly handcuffed. Charge, treatment of a prisoner in custody, not use of force. Discipline, only a written reprimand. And I want you to take a look at the wording on this aggressive act toward a prisoner. He was grabbed by the neck or front of the shirt, as if it would make a difference. And this defendant was allegedly handcuffed. On the female officer that you just saw, it wasn't about any alleged nothing. It was that this defendant was hit in the head with the fist while he was handcuffed and he was laying on the ground.